guys? Welcome to another episode of MMA Hard. Today I'm here with one of the top featherweights in Canada, a future BFL Hall of Famer, Taylor Christopher. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Doing well, man. Thanks. Yeah, Taylor, I got to see you at BFL 80, one of the biggest nights of your career, I believe. Just wondering, first of all, how did you celebrate the victory on May 9th?
It was pretty low key. I just ended up coming back home here, and then I had a couple buddies come over, and we just kind of hung out for a bit. Nothing too crazy. Kind of kept it low key, and then kind of celebrated with some food and stuff like that, and that's pretty much it.
Absolutely. And, Taylor, all of your fights have been in BFL. Just wondering, where does BFL 80 rank among all of your other fights and all of those other, great nights that you had previously in your career?
Yeah, it was a big night. A lot of good fights on that card, so I was happy to be a part of it. And definitely one of the funner fights that I've been a part of too. So yeah, it was one of the bigger cards for me, for sure.
And Raphael Ouellet, he's just a young kid, only 25 years old. He was talking a lot of smack, a lot of trash talk. Not exactly to you, but I guess it's just the way that he is himself. He always likes to talk a bit of smack here and there, saying that he's an elite level grappler and no one can grapple with him, no one can go on the ground with him. Your only chances on defeat. So just wondering, man, did any of that make you laugh prior to the fight, and did any of that was any of that funny at all for you? Because you're an elite level grappler yourself.
Yeah, like when it comes to trash talk, man, like I like to be like not act emotionally and use act more intelligently. So I don't really react to trash talk and stuff like that. To me, it's kind of a waste of time. I'm more focused on myself in the fight. So yeah, it's all good. He's trying to sell the show or whatever, but it's meaningless to me. I could give a crap about that. So.
And in the fight itself, all I saw watching from cage side is every time he connected on the feet, he always kept pointing fingers, doing all that, once again doing all that flashy stuff as well. Just wondering, did any of that bother you at all?
Not really, man. Like it's like not a debate. We're in a fist fight, so I'm there to fight, and if he wants to do that, that's his thing. I mean, I would rather focus on the fight itself than the trash talk and this and that. I'd rather focus on what I can do and capitalize. But if that was his game, I mean, it didn't really work too well. So.
And Taylor, how close do you think you were to finishing Raphael Ouellet? How close do you think you were to a finish?
You know what, man? I was thinking I was going to get a finish, but he was a lot tougher than I expected for sure. Man, he stood in there and I was surprised. So yeah, I don't know if I was maybe a couple times I had him rocked or something like that, but I was just playing it patient and I was trying to look for that shot. And it unfortunately didn't come, but it was still an awesome fight.
And Taylor, can all the fans expect to see you at BFL 81?
Yeah, for sure. I'm definitely interested on getting that on that card. I want to keep the ball rolling. This week, basically, I was just focused on getting back in the gym and getting back on track with my eating and all of my trainings and stuff like that. So that was my focus. Next week, I'll definitely be focusing on maybe some possible matchups and stuff like that and see what they got for me. But yeah, I would definitely like to be a part of BFL 81.
And can we see you fight a top 5, maybe a top 3 opponent? Why not fight a guy like why not fight a guy like Caleb Moctezuma or someone like that?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, right? We'll see what we got. Right now, like I said, I haven't been thinking about it. I've just been kind of concerned with my own stuff and making sure that the energy from the fight doesn't get to my head. I just get back to work, and that's kind of what I've been thinking about lately.
And is earning that title shot on your mind, and is being a champion something that you want?
Definitely the title is on my mind, but at this point, like I just fought for it and then I lost, right? So, and I think I was like ranked 8th or something on the last rankings, and I think Raph was like 9th or something.
Ninth, yeah.
So, like it's there, but I just want to fight. That's my main concern. It was a little bit of a layoff for me as well, so that's what I want to do. I just want to make sure that I'm active and I'm getting fights.
And Taylor, you only lost 2 fights in your career, and both of those fights you only lost to the best of the best in the country. One of those guys was Ali Wasuk, someone very close to Contender Series. He also lost to Matteo Vogel, who fought in the Contender Series, and he beat a UFC fighter like Seri City. So, having that experience with top guys in the UFC, does that give you any extra confidence that you absolutely belong in the top as well?
Oh, definitely, for sure. How can it not? I mean, those guys are top, the top of the top, like you said, and I was in there hanging in. So yeah, definitely that gives me confidence.
And also wondering, the sport of MMA, a lot of people who do MMA, they come from, from poor countries, from poor backgrounds. They're a lot of times they're very underprivileged. And you're a Canadian guy, and just wondering, being a foreigner myself, just wondering, why do you do this? How did you get started in MMA?
Man, I've just always been drawn to fighting, ever since I was young and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a passion, and I just do it because I love it. Honestly, man, I've just always had an attachment to it, and that's basically it. I'm just hooked on fighting.
And once again, you fought all your fights in BFL. Would you ever consider fighting abroad and fighting internationally as well?
For sure, it's definitely something that I would like to do, but BFL has always treated me well and stuff like that, and they're a great promotion, so I'm happy to be fighting with them. But who knows what happens in the future? But definitely right now, happy with BFL for sure.
And also, just wondering, what does your family think about, you doing this? I mean, I'm sure they're used to it now, but initially, did they hate? Did they hate that you chose this path for yourself?
Like it's funny because I grew up and I was playing hockey and I was getting in a lot of fights in hockey in my junior career and stuff like that. So they kind of got used to it, and I got into a few fights outside of that as well. So they're already kind of used to it. And then when I started doing it in a regulated fashion like MMA, I think they at first maybe were not too pleased with it, but after a while they kind of softened up on the idea.
And what would Taylor Christopher do if you weren't an MMA fighter?
If I wasn't, well, I still do. I do some IT stuff. I used to do food service sales and stuff like that, but not something that I think about too often. I've kind of got my head stuck on the sport. So,
And also wondering about your relationship with Cole Smith. How important, is Cole Smith for your career? Of course, an ex-UFC fighter. Does he, share a lot of that knowledge with you?
for sure, man. Yeah, we're pretty close buddies. We do a lot of training together. He was in my corner. He does some coaching with me and stuff like that. Shows me a lot of stuff. So yeah, definitely a good relationship.
And what kind of sparring partners do you have in your gyms, Infight Martial Arts, Roundhouse Martial Arts, and of course Universal MMA?
Yeah, man. Well, I'm out at our gym. We have a few younger fighters coming up, and then at Universal, man, it's like the whole scene is kind of there. All the top guys are coming out and stuff like that. Like Dan's the head guy there, and we have all like the top guys like around out there. So I got a lot of top training partners. So that definitely is a positive for me.
And Taylor, the first time I met you was at the BFL 80 first ever historic press conference. To me, you seemed like a guy who doesn't really like, doing all that talk and doing all that media stuff, doing all that, trash talk.
Yeah.
So, man, just wondering, how are you with media? And, do you enjoy doing media at all?
Yeah, like I don't mind it, but yeah, like you said, I'm not one with words. I'm kind of more of an action type of guy. So yeah, I'm not a big talker. But I don't mind it. It's all right.
And Taylor, I have a couple last questions for you here. I asked this question for all the guys because I'm genuinely curious. I'm from Kyrgyzstan myself, and just wondering, what do you know about Kyrgyzstan, and what do you know about that part of the world? Just genuinely curious.
Not a whole heck of a lot, honestly, man. Not a whole heck of a lot. Yeah.
Do you know any fighters at all that come from there, or would you ever consider going to like Russia and like traveling abroad to do some training too?
Yeah, definitely. I'm all about travel. So when I was younger, I was doing a lot of traveling. But yeah, I would definitely be interested. I'm interested in training everywhere around the world. Just depends on like money and stuff like that. But yeah, that would definitely spark my interest for sure.
And also wondering, what is the life of a pro athlete like here for you in Vancouver? Does the city have everything that you need, and just what is it like living in Vancouver for you?
Yeah, man. Well, I love it. I got everything I need. I'm training multiple times a day with some of the top guys in Canada. I've got a good team behind me. So yeah, I think I got a solid team backing me. So yeah, I think it's amazing.
And my last question is, what will this next training camp look like for you? Essentially, what will this summer 2024 look like for you? How are you going to do this training camp?
So basically, I'm back to it. I'm training the same as I was before, maybe a little lighter, obviously. But I just kind of got right back into the rhythm. I just want to keep things going, and then when September rolls around, I'll be ready to just get right back to it.
And could we get a final message for all the Taylor Christopher fans out there worldwide?
Yeah, we'll look forward to seeing more of me because we got a lot more fights left here for the coming year or the coming couple years, I guess here.
Guys, very soon Taylor Christopher is hopefully going to earn that title shot and, of course, make his way to the UFC as well. So stay tuned for all of that. Thank you so much for your time today, Taylor.
Yeah, thanks, man.